Good evening, everybody. I am Mr. First Down, a.k.a. Sam Dean, your favorite Titans fan. And you are right. I never left the 90s. My playlist shows that on Spotify. I never left. The guy that leaves for only the next rung up, the next step up himself. You can catch him on Football Talk with Bo. His coast-to-coast sports show is Primo. I like it. It is Primo. Bo Crouch. Bo, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. Always love being on shows with you, man. So appreciate you having me on.
Thanks. Yeah, everybody should love being on shows with me, but very few say it for whatever reason. I don't get that. But anyway, just going through here and whatnot, it's really cool what you're doing over there with all your content and everything like that. So please like and subscribe to Bo and me, but mostly Bo. And I watch you go and. What's it like doing a press conference? Because it's just somebody like me that's like watching you do these press conferences. What's that like? Did you really have to get your head right or something? Like, how does that work?
No, I mean, press conferences are like they're kind of cool to do because I mean you're watching the game a little differently, right, than when you're just a fan. When you're getting to the point where you're doing press conferences and stuff like that, you're watching it as a member of the media, as an analyst. And so you're taking some of the fandom out of it. And so then once you do that, you start asking better questions, obviously. Right. So you're going in there and you're like, okay, well, what did you see here? What were they doing in this situation? Now that doesn't always ring true. I mean, if you've seen any of the media stuff from the Super Bowl, obviously, some of the questions that get asked, like, is this a must-win game for a championship game? That was wild. So not every media member maybe thinks all these questions out all the way, but yeah, I mean, you want to make sure you have a good question. There's also a very short amount of time with these guys. So like, right now we're in the middle of the hockey season. So when I'm covering the Kraken, the head coach, Coach Lane, he's in that press conference at the table for 5 minutes tops. So if you got to make sure your question gets in and that it's to the point and it's something that matters. Because if you ask them something off the wall, you're not only are you not going to get your question answered, a lot of times they'll be reluctant to go back to you. So you do have to put some thought into whatever those are going to be.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get tired of the people not respecting people's time. Like that lady in Jacksonville asked the question, not really a bad thing, where she like pumped up Liam Cohen's tires, right?
I wasn't mad at that.
No, I wasn't too mad about it either. I went the Dan Patrick route, and Dan Patrick said it best. He goes, "Is it really that big of a deal? No. Is there a better time to do this? Yes." And I that's where I kind of leaned on it. Tell him after the press conference, guy, something along those lines.
So when I looked at that, right, because I actually kind of appreciated it. It was a loss. It's the last presser of the year. Like, you don't have to bury the guy because like, what was going to be the better question? Well, how do you respond? How to rebound from this? Well, I'm going to have a different roster next year. Like, I don't even know. Right?
Yeah, I've got 6 months,
Like, if there was ever a time to have that 30 seconds, right? It's not like it was some thing that went on for 5 minutes or what. It was literally 30 seconds of a 5 to 10 minute press conference. I'm sure the rest of the people got their questions answered, especially because most of these aren't going to have answers because you're going to lose players. You're going to lose coaches. Like, you don't actually know what you're playing with next year. Right. So if there was ever a press conference where you could do something like that and it not really impact anything, it's the final one of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I heard plenty of reporting 101. I heard my early journalism classes in college that I didn't finish, saying no, and stuff
you're not
like
supposed
that. Right. Yeah.
You're not supposed to. So there is that.
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, it's funny that you say that because, you do have a different roster every year. I'm going to do an episode on sports cliches that need to go out the window because run it back is literally not going to happen. You never truly run it back. You might have a couple of key players there and whatnot, but the roster is not the same. Like you never really run it back. You know,
It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Like
it's pretty rare.
There's short times where like there's a lot of guys on rookie deals.
Sure.
Where but I mean, even that is kind of a outlier. You might get 2 years in a row where you have like a main package together. Some ancillary pieces are probably, moving around, but I mean, outside of that, especially in the NFL, I mean, if you got the same group 2 years in a row, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. If it's 3 years in a row, right. That's some witchcraft.
That's true. I mean, you said it on your show plenty of times, and I agree. And I've also heard this from other smart people, so good job. But the NFL is slated for you to not have constant success. It is slated for you to struggle. That is,
it's built for parity. Like right. The salary cap was designed to make it so that all ships can rise to the same level unless you happen to be a Jet or a Brown.
Wow. Woo. I mean, just another year. I just got to get out of this hole. Okay. Just need one more year. But yeah, I'll ask you this question real quick. Cause I didn't get to hear your opinion on it. I was busy working instead of listening to podcasts. So imagine that.
What?
Yeah, I know. Silly thing. When I listen to Coast to Coast, I'm literally like, painting screws and stuff like that. And I'm like trying to have the earbud in my ear, like, but Todd Monken to Cleveland. Did you have an opinion on that? I would like to hear it if you do not mind.
I mean, they didn't get better.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of Sam works.
I know.
It's been forever, man. Yeah, so they didn't get better. I don't know that they got worse. I think the thing that got worse with the Browns is the fact that they are again saying we want to give Deshaun the chance to win the quarterback job.
Oh God.
That's insane to me. I thought their extension and restructure was to get rid of the guy.
Yeah.
Right. So you had a cap hit that was good enough to just be like, hey, we can eat this. It doesn't destroy our team. Instead, they're going to full on try and give him a chance to be the starter. And maybe some of that is because Shador and Gabriel didn't exactly like show out. Right.
Right.
So maybe that's the thought process, but that means again, you're going to go into this off season with like 4 or more quarterbacks. Like what? I don't know. I don't get what they're doing. I really don't think it moves the needle though.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't help that they had the data-driven coaching hire either, which I thought was just utterly silly. The essays, the homework they were giving people. Yeah. Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, I know. See, I can get a good guest every now and then, just every now and then. I won't let it go to my head. So we move on to next. I never hear enough about Seattle's GM, who has done an absolutely stellar job, and Schneider, and just everything he's done from going to get Darnold and making that decision, from anything really, free agency, draft picks, like the whole shebang or whatnot. And here they are, they're back in the Super Bowl, like that or whatnot. Can you talk about just how magical this season has been? And did you think you were going to be here at the beginning of the season?
So in the Super Bowl, no. I was a little ahead of where
I have a lot. People respect me. It's great. I'm a respected person. It's wonderful.
So they obviously outperformed what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to be a 10-win wild card team. I had the Rams winning the division. And a large part of that was I knew the defense was going to take a step forward because this defense is in its second year. They added some key pieces. So I knew the defense was going to be stout. The offense was a big question mark because this is the first year for Sam. We redid all of our receivers. We replaced parts of our offensive line. And so there was so many moving pieces in offense. We got rid of Fant. So even the tight end is different. So that's where I was curious about the production on the offensive side of the ball. And I also thought that Sam Darnold was probably not going to play quite as well as he did with Minnesota, because Minnesota had a good offensive line for most of the year until right at the end when a bunch of guys got hurt. It just is what it is. But so did I think they were going to be a Super Bowl team? No. Did I think they would be a playoff team? Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I had them making the playoffs as well. I was like, I think Sam Darnold will be okay. I didn't expect him to be this good. I thought maybe after leaving the KOC umbrella, things would start to kind of just even out for him, and he would be okay, but not as good as he has been or whatnot. So, it's great. It's great. I love surprises in the NFL. Of course, I hear the lamentations of the Seahawks again, like for dinner. Seahawks and Patriots again or whatnot,
I mean, it's been 12 years. Like
that's what I was saying, but it was 12 years ago. Like, come on. Like, and I'm sure somebody in that Super Bowl audience will have a picture of the most horrible decision at the goal line hanging up there.
It wasn't a bad decision. The execution was terrible.
Oh yeah. It's sloppy. It's just very sloppy.
The execution was just awful. But it was the right call. You had one timeout. You had 30 seconds. So if you want to use all three downs, one of them had to be a pass because you got to be able to stop the clock. So if you use the pass there, you're not thinking interception. You're thinking, well, it's incomplete pass. You run it the next down, you call a timeout, you run it fourth down, right? So then you can use the remaining 3 plays.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it.
But of course, yeah, I've seen tons of those clips. But there's nobody from either one of those teams that are still on rosters.
Oh, they're all gone.
It's coaching, players, all of it.
Yeah, I know. People are just so funny. It's the same thing. Like I have to deal with, like most jobs around the world. Like I even got my job, for example, right? My friend worked at the factory, and then he got me hired on because we're friends or whatnot. So one of the things, especially what my fan base does, is you can't hire Matt Nagy as coach, and thank God they didn't. But let me bear with me. I'm with you. So, but they're like, if he hires Matt Nagy, it's a buddy hire. I'm like, the NFL is a buddy hire. Robert Saleh right now is hiring people he knows that he can trust. They're his buddies, and so right, exactly. So I always scoff and laugh because these are the same people and I'll give him credit. Mark Borgonzi drafted a hell of a class last year, and it wasn't a great season, but everybody showed growth. And then it was like, in Borgo we trust, except if you hire Matt Nagy. I'm like, no, you're either on the bus or you're off the bus. We can't do this whole
to be fair, they've been used to the last couple of years where they've been under the bus.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Trust me, I'm crawling out from under the bus, and I'm like, thank you, Borgo, and everybody's like, I'll follow him, but it can't be this guy or whatnot. But it is interesting to see him in New York. I raise an eyebrow at that.
I imagine it has to be a little bit frustrating to see Vrabel in this game.
Yes. Yeah, people are pissy. People don't believe me. They call this hard cope or whatnot. I have always looked at things as one season at a time. Okay. Yeah. Like it's just one season at a time. Okay. It's like when people, do you miss Derrick Henry? Do you miss AJ Brown? I'm like, not on my team anymore. Nothing I can really do about that.
So I think where my question really comes in is not so much do you miss them, because I mean, it is what it is. People get fired all the time.
Yep.
It's just, it was the way they fired him that didn't make any sense, right? So you have a team, they get deep in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. Then they end up with some injuries, and then you have a GM that doesn't want to give them any talent,
right?
And so the production falls way off, which okay, but those guys were fighting. Like it was a terrible roster, but they were playing as hard as they could possibly play. Mm-hmm. He gets fired, the GM doesn't. That seemed wild. Like if your team is playing as poorly as they were and they're still fighting the whole way, The coach isn't the problem.
Right.
That's a talent issue. And the coach doesn't generally have a lot of say over the talent. Like they get to have input, but the GM, it's kind of like their whole job. So
right. So here's a couple of things we know. They hire Rand Carthon, which I was for. He was the head scout for San Francisco. It made sense, or whatever. And he was supposedly in on all these GM hires, and it came out later that he didn't want Rand Carthon. So I was like, okay, well, we hear it now, of course, not during. So the best for I actually got to talk to John McClain, who works for the Houston Chronicle on Carlos's thing, and he said Rand Carthon just politicked him out of there. Vrabel's not really working with the rest of us. We need this to be a collaborative effort, kind of thing. And here's the thing about Michael. I love him to death. I will always love Mike Vrabel, totally. But the guy is an asshole. Let's just be honest. He's hard to deal with. And if Rand Carthon goes to ownership or whoever he talks to and it says, hey, I'm trying to work with this guy, he doesn't want to work with me, how am I supposed to get him players and stuff if he's not going to work with me right now? So then he hired Callahan, then he got fired. So there. But I'm not excusing it. I won't pretend that the last 2 seasons of Vrabel were fun. They were not fun. I don't think.
When you look at the roster those last 2 years.
No, I get it. It was a bad roster.
You were straight not going to win with that roster.
No,
I don't care who was coaching.
No, it was. I wish that they didn't fire him, but at the same time, I'm also like, say la vie. Like there's nothing I can do.
Well, and that's why I opened it with, if people get fired, it is what it is. That's why I wasn't really, do you miss him or anything like that? It was I was surprised. I was surprised with the exit.
Yeah, no, I was too, because I said, they're not going to fire him. That's crazy. But something had also happened between October and November, because Diana Rossini had it in hand that he was getting a big extension. And I was like, good. And then Diana Rossini comes out and says it all fell apart somewhere between October and November, somewhere in there. Not a game
I want to be in. Like, what happened?
Right. Yeah. We'll find out in a book written 10 years from now, and then there'll be another book that refutes that book, and we'll never really figure it out until somebody's on their deathbed and whispers it in my ear as they go. So
you will kind of figure it out, because anytime there's a book and then a book that refutes it, there's always commonalities, and you're like, okay, so this is about where the truth lies.
Yeah.
And you can get the picture of where it really is.
Right. So, do I miss him? Yeah, I don't wish him any ill will or anything like that. Some people do. But no, it's over. It's done. It's our job to try to find somebody, whatever. It's like people that always like the crazy stuff, like AJ Brown and Kevin Byard should come back. And I sit over there going, no, I want younger, faster, bigger, stronger. That's what I want. I want the next one. I don't want the replay. And you
certainly don't want the head case.
No, I definitely don't want the head case. No, especially that. But that's just where it is. But and everything like that. So we'll get down to it here. Bo, how do you guys win this game?
I mean, there's a few things they have to do. Obviously, they have to protect Darnold. Ideally, if they can strike first, right? If they can strike first on offense, that's huge. It allows Darnold to play loose and fast. If they are getting a lot of pressure on him, if the offensive line isn't holding up, that's where this game becomes much more interesting, right? If they can keep the running game away from the Patriots and make Drake May have to try and beat you, Seattle wins, right? Yeah. If they allow the Patriots to get out on top and they have to start pressing to stay in this game, that's where this becomes a very tight, 27-24 kind of game. So for Seattle to win, they really need to get pressure and eliminate the run as much as possible. Dare Drake May to beat you.
Right. I had I have Seahawks winning 21-17. I think it's tight regardless. I think something happens with Shaheed or JSN in that game to blow it open near the end to finally kind of seal it. Is how I kind of see it going. But I wouldn't want to give Mike Vrabel 2 weeks to plan, and I wouldn't want to give Mike McDonald 2 weeks to plan either. So they're kind of that kind of same cloth of strategy guys that sit there and figure it out and have no life and just sit there for weeks on end staring at a football film over and over again. But so it's going to, I think it's just going to be an unbelievably tight game, and somebody's going to have to make the big play to blow it open. That's how I view it.
No, and I think you're right. It's why I give Seattle the edge here.
Right.
They just have more playmakers on the team.
They do. And Drake May has not inspired confidence in his playoff play so far. So
it's been a little rough. It's been a little rough. Whereas Darnold has actually elevated his game in this playoff.
He has. I was really impressed in that 49ers game because you could tell he wanted to make a throw sometimes and thought better of it and hit the short guy. And I was thinking, like, see, that's the difference right there.
Gross.
It's
yes.
Right. That guy that he realizes, maybe I shouldn't let them, dictate what I'm going to throw to. That guy looks open, but I don't think he is, kind of maneuver and whatnot. So we are approaching draft time for some of us. Good for you. You get to wait one more week before that. So are you going to the draft at all? I am. I will be in Pittsburgh.
Sadly, I will not be there.
Oh, man.
Just can't swing it, unfortunately.
Come on, catch the red eye. Catch the red eye out of Washington. Come on down or whatever.
See, that's the thing is flights out of Seattle are just always expensive. So
are they?
A round trip ticket to Pittsburgh is going to be $600-700.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awful. That's rough.
Then you still got to stay somewhere and it's why I missed the Senior Bowl this year. I didn't go because for me to go to the Senior Bowl, spend the week in Mobile and get a car and the plane ticket and the hotel and everything, it's like a $4,500 trip.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So it's just like, until I get some better sponsorship, some of these things are harder to get to.
This is the one trip I get away from kids. So I stack cash all year and finally push it. Yeah, thanks. I drive up there, meet with my Colts cousin in Waynestown, Indiana, and we head off because Indiana really is the crossroads of America. You can just get to a wider range of cities and towns. Next year, though, he's upset because he has to fly because it's in Washington, D.C. And I was like, I said, buckle up, Buttercup, we're going. So we're excited about that. But as far as like draft goes on or whatnot, I'll get a couple of things out of the way here. Mendoza is a Raider, right? There is no escape here. He's the Raider.
I can't imagine a scenario where he's not, right?
Because
this is a great draft when it comes to quarterbacks. There's only 2 quarterbacks. And
Ty Simpson and him, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because Moore's going back to school. So I mean, you have 2 quarterbacks. The Geno Smith thing didn't work. You don't really have anything else on the roster that you could even potentially do. So you're probably all in on one. Now, if you were gonna entertain Geno, not sure why you would, but because it went so poorly. But if you did, then you would probably be trading back as a Raider a couple of spots in order to really fix that offensive line. Because that's one of the big issues with that team is the offensive line. But like I get why our OC went, right? Kubiak, he's got Max Crosby on the roster, Bowers, their other tight end, forgetting his name offhand, also a good tight end, Genty. Yeah. I mean, like there's nice pieces. They are in the top 3 as far as cap space and the number 1 pick. Like it's an attractive job in that way. So all intents and purposes, Mendoza is going to be number 1.
Right.
Like I just don't see how they don't take him.
Yeah. You think Clint Kubiak, who, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he's going to get the job unless something crazy happens after the Super Bowl.
It's pretty much locked up. It's pretty much locked up.
Yeah, I don't. I usually when I see Schefter saying, "Hey, there is strong interest," he had the capital strong in there, that he's going to be the guy. Do you think he works well with Mendoza? I only ask that because sometimes you see these offensive guys come in, they're like, "Actually, I'm more of a Ty Simpson fan," or something along those lines.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Right. The only reason I don't think that's the case is you watched Mendoza absolutely show out.
Incredible.
In the championship game.
It was like Andrew Luck-esque.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And even that one run for a touchdown where he had no business scoring, he runs through 4 tackles, knocks one of his own guys over to dive into the end zone. Like
that was crack to me. I was like, hit me again. Oh, Lord have mercy.
So, I mean, you have an effort play like that. You see in his skill set. Do I think he is NFL ready? No, I don't. He's the most polished of the group, but that's not really saying anything.
Right.
And so the benefit to him not being ready to go is the team isn't ready to go. Mm-hmm. And so the ownership group the ownership rather is going to be patient, right? They know that this is going to take a few years to fix. That's why they didn't keep Pete Carroll. You have a few year rebuild. You're probably not doing it with a guy that's 74 because that means he's going to be knocking on the door at 80 by the time this team is turned around. So he's going to have some time to kind of fix this 2-3 years. And in that time, KC's going to start to dismantle, right? You're going to have the Broncos are going to have to start paying people. And then the Chargers are the Chargers. You never really know what they're doing. But, so by the time the Raiders have kind of turned the corner on this thing, they should be able to compete in their division pretty solidly. Right.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I just didn't know if you had some. Actually, I think it's going to be Ty Simpson. I was going to go, really? To explain. But no, I get it.
Like, it's tough to go against the Heisman winner that wins the national championship and made some really key throws and had one of the most effort-laden runs for a touchdown.
Historical, yes.
And then he has whoever media trained him was a champ, right? And so he's checking every box of, I don't know how you don't, like, you get buried if you don't take him and he shows out.
Yeah, they're gonna look like complete fools.
If you're a GM, you get fired. Like,
yeah, that's just like that. Just like that. I looked through this entire draft and I was a little disappointed. I read a lot of The Athletic. I read a lot of CBS draft coverage because I think they actually have pretty good draft coverage. I don't touch ESPN. I already hated Mel Kiper, but after the whole Cam Ward issue last year, I was like, I'm out on you, Mel. I'm done. Like, I can't deal with it.
Kiper's rough.
Man.
Kiper and Feinberg. I can't do either one.
Oh, I can't do them. Nope. Nope.
Like kudos to Kiper for making a career out of being wrong all the time.
It's like anything, right? Like Titans fans already have this thing of being like, hey, we matter, and people act like we don't matter, and that's fine. We've kind of earned that the last 4 years. But then, like, to just like skip over and start whining about Sanders and then have your own colleagues on set go, bro, it's over. It's done, and him still do it. I'm just like, okay, I don't know what your problem is, but you've got to let this go, man. Like, this is ridiculous. I think, what's his name? I can't remember who it was, but he said the draft is spoken. Like, it's done. Like, there's nothing else to do. And he's just banging the desk like this is the worst thing ever. And I mean, it got so bad that Kyle Brandt was pretty much a Titans fan at this point on Good Morning Football because of how bad it was. And you know, it's like I tell everybody, I'm like, read your beat reporters and read the guys that are like really paying attention to your team. Not these national guys have no clue. They have zero clue what's going on. You have to win for them to pay attention to you. That's usually how
for sure. And I mean, you also got to look at, you know, so like I said, I didn't go to Senior Bowl this year, but last year,
a lot of people didn't though, because, well, we had an ice storm, so there was no way to.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was that. But yeah, so one of the things that, if you're listening to the national, especially the TV guys, they're not necessarily what you're listening to so much. You know, when you go to things like the Senior Bowl, most of the GMs around the league are there. Right. About a third of the coaches are there. And so those are the guys that when I was down there, I was really listening to the way they were talking about guys. Obviously there was some eye test stuff because you're watching all the practices and all that. But I got a chance to chat with John Lynch.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, hey, you know, how much does a game like this potentially move someone up or down a draft board? Right. I mean, because us in the media, we speculate all that. Right. But
sure.
Lynch is one of the guys that actually like pulls the trigger on these guys.
Right.
And so I wish I would have had this conversation on tape because unfortunately I caught him in passing and I didn't have cameras and stuff. But he said that these can move a guy up and down the draft board a lot because the Senior Bowl specifically is NFL coaches. It's NFL verbiage. It's NFL rules. So all of these things are, can you go into a system you're not familiar with, language you're not familiar with, and it's an all-star game, so you're not playing with any of your teammates. How quickly, you only get 3 practices together. So how quickly do you pick that up? How good can you look on that Saturday, right? And so it was cool getting that perspective. And then as a Seahawk fan, it's frustrating because John Lynch hits on all of these guys. I mean, if you ever saw a team, it was the Niners this year.
Right. Him and he's crazy, and so is Les Snead. Les Snead gives me a heart attack. If I'm a Rams fan, the way he moves players and draft picks, it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, and they keep, he keeps making it work. Even when something fails, he makes it look pretty.
Yeah, I wish they do it in a different division.
I know. I hear you. I mean, I had to watch the Texans last year, draft C.J. Stroud and then Will Anderson in one single, like almost one single round. Almost it was. Oh yeah, it was round one. So it was both in round one. Yeah. And I was like, for heaven's sake, like 2 cornerstone pieces, just like that. But yeah, I'll give you a couple more questions here. But I looked over this draft. I don't know if you've taken I haven't analyzed, but I looked over it. I don't really see anybody, like Mendoza's obviously the top quarterback or whatnot. I don't see anyone in this draft that really wows me. You know, I don't see anybody in there. I am voting. People hate me because I'm like, I think we should trade out of number 4, but we need stuff, Sam. Well, there's more stuff with more picks down this way. I just see a lot of depth players. That's all I see. I see a lot of depth players, maybe that are pretty good, maybe, but nobody really wows me. I didn't know if you had an opinion on this draft class or.
Yeah, not. I mean, so there's some people. I was trying to see if
because I like Bailey out of Texas Tech more than Ruben Bain. You know what I mean? As far as like edge or something along those lines.
Yeah, but so that's the thing is you got you got some good players. They there's not a huge drop off, right? So a guy that you could get in the first round, you can get a similar guy. Like if you're getting late in the first round, you can get a similar guy in the second round. And you save some money there. So this is, I would expect to see like a lot of linemen kind of going. Skill positions aren't aren't what you thought they would necessarily be. But there is talent. It's just not where you normally see it.
Yeah. No, okay. I get it. I'm just so used to. I see a lot of cornerbacks. I see a lot of,
Yeah, but those aren't going to be first rounders, right?
No,
like you see a lot of corners, but they're going to be like third.
No, you're second, third, fourth, fifth,
Yeah.
All down that line. I'm bummed out because I don't really see a wide receiver that wows me, and I think my team's taking a wide receiver. I really do, mainly because it looks like Saleh, by the staff he's assembling, are a lot of guys that do kind of the rising tide method of coaching and lifting up younger guys to kind of push them. But I think all the holes are mainly on offense. We can fix defense as we go, kind of mentality. But what do I know? I just guy. But anyway, before I let you go, what's the final score? What do we got for this Sunday? What's our final score?
I'm going to go 27-24 Seattle.
All right. Nice and tight. I went 21-17. And the last question of the night, you are having the world's largest tailgate. All of us are there. All the fan bases except one, Bo. Which fan base is not getting in to the Bo Crouch tailgate extravaganza?
Oh, if I'm hosting it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one fan base not getting in. I mean, it's probably the Cowboys because they're already in Cancun.
This is a very popular answer. You have no idea when I've asked people this question.
Well, the thing that's funny is people would probably expect me to say like the Niners or something, but you want them there. Be like, hey, you know who's getting a ring in your house? Oh, we are.
I want you to see me do it on your field.
Exactly.
When you see it happen. I want you to see when the Titans sign George Kittle under your nose and you have nothing. So anyway, Bo, thank you for coming on. It is always an absolute pleasure. If you don't mind telling the fine people where to find your lovely streaming.
Yeah. No, and again, thank you for having me on. This is always fun.
No problem.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Football-Talk, all the socials at Football Talk with Bo, 97.3 ICU Radio and Roku TV.
Woohoo! And you can find me on Fanboys Unleashed every Friday or Saturday, sometime on the weekend around 8 p.m. Central. I release videos, and we're going to talk NFL year-round, including the dreaded off-season where I will have probably hypothetical list out the wazoo, and we can all react to it and whatnot. But we'll be talking about all NFL stories only on Fanboys Unleashed. For Bo Crouch, I am Sam Dean. You all have a lovely night. We will see you later.